Well, hello, time travelers, and welcome, new time travelers. As always, if you're new to this channel and enjoy learning about history, not only from the US, but from around the world, one event at a time, then don't forget to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into it. On this day in 337, Constantine the Great, who had practiced Christianity since his youth and sparked its growth into a world religion, became, on his deathbed, the first Roman emperor to be baptized in the Christian church. 1813 is when a German dramatic composer Richard Wagner, whose operas and music had a revolutionary influence on the course of Western music, was born in Leipzig. Moving on to 1844, when American painter Mary Cassatt, who was especially known for her impressionist works of intimate lives of contemporary women, was born in Allegheny City, Pennsylvania. 5 years later, in 1849, future U.S. President Abraham Lincoln was granted a patent for a boat lifting device. He was the only U.S. president to have a patent. 1885 is when French poet, novelist, and dramatist Victor Hugo, who was the most important of the French Romantic writers, passed away at the age of 83. In 1939, Adolf Hitler of Germany and Benito Mussolini of Italy signed the Pact of Steel, a full military and political alliance between their countries. 3 years later, in 1942, Mexico entered World War II by declaring war on Germany, Italy, and Japan. Moving on to 1960, when one of the largest earthquakes on record struck the southern coast of Chile, killing about 5,700 people and creating systematic sea waves that caused death and destruction in distant Pacific coastal areas, notably Japan and Hawaii. The following year, in 1961, the U.S. Supreme Court held 4-3 that E.I. DuPont de Nemours must, within 10 years, divest itself of the 63 million shares of General Motors stocks owned by it. 1968 is when the motion to censor the French government failed by 11 votes in the National Assembly. 12 years. Oh. Moving on to 1972, when Richard Nixon arrived in Moscow, the first visit by a U.S. president to the Sovereign Union. 1992 is when American comedian Johnny Carson, considered by many to be king of the late night television, made his final appearance as the host of The Tonight Show. 6 years later, in 1998, near Blantyre, Malawi, a passenger train derails on a steep hill after brake failure. 20 persons were killed and more than 200 are injured. In 2004, at the Cannes International Film Festival, American director Michael Moore's film Fahrenheit 9/11 wins the Palme d'Or, and the Grand Prix goes to South Korean director Park Chan-wook's Old Boy. Moving on to 2007, researchers report that a hammerhead shark born at Henry Doorly Zoo in Omaha, Nebraska in 2001 to an isolated female has been found to be the result of a form of asexual reproduction called Parathenogenesis, which had not previously been seen in sharks. And finally, in 2011, one of the deadliest tornadoes in U.S. history struck Joplin, Missouri, causing massive damage and killing some 160 people. And with that, we return to 2024 and our current history. Until next time.